Damn. 2004, nearly 20 years ago, Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise spend a night driving around the dark streets of Los Angeles in a cab. How does that sound exciting? How is that a movie? Like, is there something we should be excited about there? Yes, there is, because this cab ride turns into so much more. The directing of this film, the acting in this film is second to none. This is a gritty, dark LA nighttime cab ride, action-oriented, dialogue-driven masterpiece by Michael Mann, and we're going to get into it. It's called Collateral. We're going to get into it next on Film Fan. Welcome to Film Fan, my channel where I discuss all things film related, my passion for film. And if that is also your thing and you want to hear about movies and all that stuff and me talking about it, you're into that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed and the notification bell so you know when I put up new content. So Collateral, a 2004 film written by Stuart Beattie and directed by Michael Mann, stars Jamie Foxx as Max, an LA cab driver with hopes and aspirations of one day owning his own luxury limousine service. Now, at the start of the film, Max picks up a fare named Annie, played by Jada Pinkett Smith. She is a prosecutor in the U.S. District Attorney's Office downtown Los Angeles, and she's working some large case. Now, Max endears himself to her first by providing her the fastest and cheapest route to get to where she's going. They kind of have a discussion about it. She wants to go one way. He decides that there's a faster way to go, and he convinces her that there is a faster way to go, and he winds up succeeding. I should also mention in the cab ride, he convinces her of, taking moments to herself in her mind and getting away, that she seems that she needs to de-stress a bit. And, he tells her that it's good to take a vacation. And, often he does it every day in his own mind by looking at this picture of an island. And that's his getaway. And that's the way he de-stresses. And that's the way he deals with life. So after the cab ride, some mild flirtation, she gets out and then she returns to the car and has him roll the window down so she can give him her business card in case they ever want to, discuss or argue traffic routes, cab routes. So she says. Now, this scene to me is probably the dullest point in the film, but it sets things up. So I can't really, her character and the way she fits in this whole thing and with Max and stuff. I mean, it does set some stuff up, but as far as I'm concerned, it's just one of the low points in the film. And this is where it starts to get good. Shortly after he drops her off, Max picks up the steely-eyed, gray-haired, bearded, and slick-dressed Vincent, played by Tom Cruise. Vincent, impressed with Max's knowledge of traffic routes, offers him $600 to drive him around while he makes a few business stops, which actually are assassinations. He's actually driving around, and he's got a list, and he's going to assassinate people. That's what he's doing. Max, of course, upon learning what's going on and who Vincent is and what he's trying to do, he tries to escape the situation. It's actually kind of a funny scene. He's like, "Oh, dude, you take the cab. I won't tell anybody." Tom Cruise is like, "You sure you won't tell?" It's just get in the fucking cab. It's actually kind of funny. But yeah, so Max tries to escape and Tom Cruise basically takes him hostage and says, "No, dude, you're going to drive me around while I finish what I have to do." Now, although there's a hitman involved in this and murder and some action involved here and there, the real payoff and substantial moments come from the less action-oriented and more dialogue-driven scenes and the way the relationship is established between Vince and Max. The two of them seem to force one another to examine their own lives and think about their realities. So Vince is kind of living in the past. He lives in the past, but it's only when he's asked about it. He even lies a little bit about it. So it's kind of like even a murky past. Like you're not even sure if he's telling Max the actual truth. But the one thing about Max is about Vincent is he's living in the present. He kind of takes every moment by moment and lives in the now and has little regard for the future. And he obviously has little regard for the past, even if the things that he says were made up or not, they're kind of disturbing and they kind of give way to his character, but we just don't know if they're 100% true. Now, Max, on the other hand, in total contrast, lives his life in the future, in a very pseudo future, his fake future. So that's kind of like the difference between the two of them. But watching them interact with one another and how they play off each other are the real payoff moments in this film. The writing here by Beattie and the performances of Cruise and Fox set against the dark LA skyline and the whole thing takes place at night. There's no daytime scenes in this. Just make this a absolutely mesmerizing film to watch. You add Michael Mann's flawless direction here, the skilled cinematography, which kind of it's like a pure homage to LA nighttime and that whole culture and this dynamic shifting environment and things that are not 100% what they seem to be. It's one of Michael Mann's greatest films. My favorite Michael Mann film is Heat. I'll probably get to that on this channel at some point, but this is right up there. Fox was nominated for Best Supporting Actor at the 77th Academy Awards, and the film received a Best Editing nomination, a very well-deserved editing nomination, also a very well-deserved acting nomination. This is Jamie Foxx. So 2 months later, Ray comes out, and he gets his Oscar for that film. So they were both released in 2004, but this is pre-Oscar Jamie, and he's still a shit. Like, this has got to be one of his best performances of all time. So you look at Ray, that's indisputable, but this is like right up there as far as one of his most brilliant pieces of work. And then, of course, Tom Cruise. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is one of his best performances of all time. For me, it's right up there with Magnolia. And I think a lot of people would be distracted by the gray hair thing and the beard and this kind of steely, look that he's got, this creepy look that he has. It seems kind of manufactured. He just looks like a cutout of a hitman, right? He looks like something from a video game. So, right away you're looking at like, oh yeah, you can't believe Tom Cruise. Almost the same way you didn't believe Tom Cruise as The Last Samurai. I still don't believe that. Anyway, but yeah, in this, it's just that whole look, you're going to be distracted by the idea that, oh, it's Tom Cruise trying to be a bad guy. And he does a fucking brilliant job. And to me, it just totally shows his acting range in this film. He does a great job in this film. There's also a great supporting cast here, including a pre-MCU, pre-Hulk Mark Ruffalo. You got Peter Berg and the incredible Javier Bardem in one of my favorite scenes in the entire film. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but there's a scene in this film where Jamie Foxx's character has to meet with Javier Bardem's character, and it is freaking brilliant. Just look out for that. All right, no spoilers. If I had to think of anything negative to say about the film, it's kind of hard. It's pretty fucking flawless. It really is. I thought about this the other day, and I told a friend of mine about it. Like I watched it again the other night, and there's some ridiculousness, right? And there's ridiculousness in every movie, all right? But the idea that, like, the whole Jada Pinkett Smith, I just think it's not a strong performance by her. I'm not impressed with Jada Pinkett Smith as an actress. And that beginning scene just seems kind of like whatever for as far as I'm concerned. And then the idea that, 4,000 cabs in the downtown area and there's probably a billion lawyers down there, and Jamie Foxx picks up this one person. So you'll see how, again, no spoilers, but you'll see how it all works together. And it just seems really coincidental. I mean, it just seems really far-fetched. Same thing with with Tom Cruise's character and him getting picked up. It's all really kind of like put together. And there's just some ridiculousness. And I thought about how if this film was not put in the right hands and handled the right way as far as from a director's standpoint and the editing, and there wasn't somebody who can handle this material and handle this script, this would have been a film that kind of just got lost. And if it was different actors, it's one of those films where the story and some of the shit that takes place, you're kind of like, all right, it's not that crazy, right? Some of it's just too far-fetched, and the story is not that great of a story. It's kind of simple, but because of the performances, because of the way it's shot, because of Michael Mann's direction, the feel of the film, you're just immersed in this film. The moment that you get in LA and the opening shots, and it's just insane. They also use air in this. Yeah, they use air. Johann Sebastian Bach. Air. It's Bach, right? Yeah, they use air in this, which I love. They use that in a lot of films. Like in Seven, the first film I reviewed on this channel. One of my favorite scenes is a montage when Somerset's in the library and they use air playing over the thing. And this one is a different version of air, but anyway, I digress. Anyway, that's it for me on Film Fan. If you saw Collateral, let me know in the comments below. Let me know. Talk to me about it. Let me know what you think of that film. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't seen Collateral, please go see Collateral, like it's playing in theaters Friday. Stream it, find it, okay? Get the Blu-ray, get the 4K. Let me talk about the 4K for a second. Speaking of which, 4K, if you own the 2010 release of the Blu-ray, you may not necessarily need to upgrade to the 4K UHD. It's Dolby Vision HDR10. It's a DTS 5.1 lossless soundtrack. It's the same exact soundtrack that was a 2010. So the 4K upscaling here, it's an improvement. It's a very dark film, so there's a little more depth and richness in the blacks and the shadows, and there is more detail here and there, but it's not anything overwhelming. It's not reference quality Blu-ray to own in your collection. So again, if you own the Blu-ray from 2010 already, then don't bother upgrading to the 4K. But if you don't own this film at all and you've never seen it and you're going to purchase it and put it in your collection, get the 4K UHD version. The actual audio is actually, even though it's 5.1 lossless DTI, it's rich in the right moments. The gunshots sound insane. It's really good. It's not anything. It's like super immersive with a ton of things happening and whizzing by you and above you. But it's just in those right moments, it makes it feel really real. It puts you right in that moment. So that's it for the Blu-ray. All right, I know I went off tangent there for a second, but I keep meaning to put those little notes into my reviews where I talk about the actual available media. All right, so that's it from me on Film Fan. If you've not seen Collateral and this film escaped you somehow, go watch it. Come back to this channel. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and I will see you on the next Film Fan.